system is working. I don't have enough feedback if I like it or not, but I didn't do last week's, I didn't upload it to YouTube yet. I just have literally the last, I don't even know, 3 weeks, I have been so busy with candles. And so I've spent most of my time draining my energy doing candles. So I just didn't get to it last week. So I'll do it though. I'll put both of them up there just so you can see it. So anyways, all right, Jackie, Claudia, what's in store for this week? Claudia, what's in store for this week? It might be an opportunity for commitment, or I don't know why I feel like a recommitment for home and stability with the house. It's almost like you start to believe something is stable and it's committed and it's new and transformed, and then you realize, oh, you're just a liar. It doesn't have to be a romantic partner. It could actually be somebody in your family. I've got the Tree in reverse, and that's really indicative of wounds, lack of healing, no stability. That's like generational wounds. Bear in reverse, the Sun in reverse. So a lot of unhappiness over masculine energy. Somebody who you know could be a leader, somebody who could be a much more dominant force who's not. They're falling into some sort of weakness. And it makes you unhappy. But it's like it's somebody who's re-promising everything, but really doing nothing. Jackie, tell what I need to hear, please. Let's see. All right. Let's see. Just focus on your daughter, the son and the child. You know, at the end of the day, sometimes as parents, we just have to focus on our children. Give them as much attention as we possibly can, as much happiness as possible. These are the moments that matter. Don't get lost in all the burdens. I've got the cross and the clover. Focus on the happy moments. Because to be honest, she's not going to remember all the bad stuff. She's only going to remember the good stuff. Because she's little and there's really no bad stuff in her life. Except, you know, missing her other parent. And I'm not saying that's not something that's significant. But if you can introduce more happy times, that's what's going to be in her memory. Instead of all of the burdens that she carries. So it's really about happiness. To focus on her innocence. Child in reverse, the fish. You have an abundance of childhood wounds and things that you dealt with growing up. She does not. She doesn't have a lot of those similar things. But what she does deal with is adults who don't have good communication. And adults that feel lonely. And so what I see is that your job right now is to give her the message that she's loved, that you're happy you have her, and find joy. This is literally what it says. Your job right now is to find joy, happiness with your daughter. All the other things that you're listening to or dealing with in your life have nothing to do with you and her. Because that's right now what's most important is you and her. I know you're sending gifts, but I have no idea. It's like, looks different. It looks different on my side. Alrighty. So go ahead and post your question. Lori, energy surrounding upcoming week. Sure. Your job is to not talk about your burdens. It is to keep them as suppressed as possible. Do not express them. And the more that you don't express them, the smaller they're going to seem. I see healing happening in your future, but that's only going to happen if you start to talk about them less, give them less attention. There is some instability in your life. That's coming to an end, but it comes to an end because you choose to not talk about it in the same way. So I'm telling you that the cycle is about to change in your life. So if you keep talking about the same stuff, what's going to happen is inevitably it's going to darken the good things that are coming in. Literally, that's what it talks about. And I do see that. Moving on. The ship has sailed. It's time to move forward. Looks like what may have been a lot of love in the past is now depleted. And it's time to make a decision. There seems to be a change that's providing a pathway to continue to move forward. That's what I got. Which is good because, like, isn't that all any of us want? Just to move forward. To move forward. No problem. So I'll stay on. When you guys come on, you just post your question in the chat and then I will answer it. If you're not a super fan, you can super fan. That's our new like subscriber thing. We do this Tuesdays at 6 p.m. I think I've been doing this, I want to say 2 years at least. Tuesdays were always involved. I don't know about Wednesdays. I don't think so. I think it was just Tuesday originally. Upcoming trips, yes, I'm going on to a cruise second week in November. Lilia, is Adam staying with the third party? And then I think I might be going to Puerto Rico in December. I don't know. Nothing's solid right now. I'm just trying to keep up and like kind of smooth out my life here. Working on some stuff for my kids and like in my office and just trying to be planted for a little bit. All right, let's go back. Is Adam staying with the third party? Let's see. There's a blockage to this person essentially choosing another pathway. They have other options. They know there's other ways of going about this issue. But they're trying to get their courage together. It doesn't seem like they have tons of courage here. They feel like something is stopping them. It's a lot of wands. They're aware, though, that this isn't going to work. So even though they haven't made the move, they're aware it's not going to work. This is somebody who's recognizing how many losses they've taken in this relationship. Like, it doesn't work partner-wise. It just won't work. These two people are not in alignment. They're just holding on to each other to share the burdens of whatever they're dealing with. Devil in reverse. Adam doesn't want to give up that toxic way of being. There's some things they don't want to give up. So they went right from you to somebody else who's literally, they're doing the same thing. There's a way of being they don't want to change. And so the intention is not to stay with the third party, because I know that's kind of really what you're asking. No, not at all. I see what you're saying, because it's 8 of Wands in reverse, 7 of Cups. It feels like they're stagnant because they have but they have other options. They know there's other options. They just haven't taken that step. So absolutely, which is not good. It's not good. But they're very clear that that's not the one for them. All right, as you guys are coming in, just post your questions. No problem. It is Tuesday. I'll stay on for a little bit. Insecurity or ego, it could be both. I'm going to give it to you this way. In my experience, because they haven't had a karmic relationship that they've been willing to learn from. Because let me give you an example. There are men that I know of that literally are cautious about connections and intimacy. There are men that fall into that category. And so it comes down to people that are not loving themselves. Because I'll tell you what, I respect and love myself. And there isn't any random dude that's going to come into my life and like swoop me off my feet and sleep with me, you know, meeting me in the first day. It ain't going to happen. And so it's because of how much I love myself that I stand and say that. Not everybody feels that way. And so what's important to recognize is that it is a reflection of how they feel about themselves. And also, I'll just be honest, that's how women have taught men to be. Because men have women and go repeatedly to women and women and women and women. And it's like women are also responsible for this. Because we accept that behavior. If we don't accept that behavior, then it wouldn't exist. And so it's insecurities. Ego is more like justifying the behavior. Insecurity is, I don't love myself. I don't even like myself. And that's really sad. But everybody has an opportunity to change that. It really comes down to loving oneself. And now I've been through enough things that I don't want to go down that route anymore. It takes something major. Whether it's illness, because there's a lot of STIs in the world. Pain, sorrow, financial loss. I'm not going to do any more of that. And so sometimes the universe sends you a twin and then puts you through a karmic relationship. Depends on your, your soul contract, your life journey, karmic ties that you need to complete. But, at the end of the day, what's there for me is instead of judgment, it really comes down to that person hasn't found themselves. They don't even know who they are, and they don't love themselves. All right. Kim, any communication, purse, money? Well, that's 4 questions, so I'll just take communication first. There's somebody that has emotion for you, but they're not ready yet. They don't have the strength. They are carrying a lot of burdens right now, and they feel 9 of Swords in reverse. King of Cups, 9 of Swords in reverse. That's somebody who has spent a lot of sleepless nights and says to themselves, I can't do this any longer. I don't want to do this any longer. But they just don't have the strength to communicate. This is somebody who wants to show up powerful, and they don't feel like they have it. This is somebody who wants to choose you, but they're in a cycle that hasn't ended. They're trying to be patient. Yeah, because they're involved in something else. So 6 plus 2 of Cups. 6 of Cups plus 2 of Cups in reverse is 8 of Cups in reverse. They'd like to return, but they have a cycle that they have to complete now. This person has to find a way to become successfully single. They feel like, okay, I can be single, but there's still something tied that they don't feel completely open and available. It's like it's just wounds, the way they see themselves. And they see you as very cold and not interested in hearing their stories. Queen of Swords in reverse. Oh my gosh, I can't believe he hasn't been single since he was 12. Jeez, that's crazy. Mel, what's his energy? I felt a shift recently, not sure what's going on. What does Mel need to know? No, I'm not going to take this one. This one is the one. Okay. This is somebody who's trying to play a role in public. This is somebody who's trying to, I'll be honest, I don't really love it, but it is what it is. So it's not for me to judge really, but the tree in the garden. This is somebody who's trying to pretend that everything's fine. And this is about being in front of other people. So it's very performative based. Even though we still know that that you and this person are not seeing eye to eye. They're trying to pretend. To the family, the public, co-workers. What he's saying to people is he's not sure how to let go of the issues between the two of you. And so he's just trying to move past them, not focus on them. He's telling people he's not sure how to maturely deal with the relationship, so he's choosing not to. Because it's not over, it's just there's a resistance to it being over. And it's about money. He's concerned about the future and money. And so he's kind of in a holding pattern. There is love there still, though. He does feel a lot of love for you. But there is this energy of feeling that you dominate in a way that doesn't allow him to be himself. And that's the difficulties in your union. You want things to be a certain way. So you're dominant. So what he's telling people is one thing. What he's showing people is another. And it feels an awful lot like avoidance. Yes, you have to love yourself. I mean, honestly, there's nothing other than that. And people, they try to get around the loving yourself conversation. It's like, if you don't love yourself, continue. You continue to hurt yourself. But see, this is the thing. I get a lot of, like, honestly, I have a lot of very strong women. Almost all of them are in their masculine energy. And I have had to go to war with some of them and talk about, like, you are controlling. You're being a mother. And they're like, no, he's a narcissist. And I'm like, nope. And finally, after a while, once we dig and dig and dig, they can see it. But we have to be responsible for ourselves. Our job is to learn as much as we can about ourselves, because we have the power to change ourselves. We can't change anybody else. And that's so hard, because especially if you're a mother, you want people to change because you see the potential. And you believe so hard in somebody and they don't even believe in themselves. Guess what happens? Nothing. It's frustrating. Let's see. Francesca, I have too many questions, so I will just ask after today's events. What does Spirit want me to know? That you have fears about this other woman. You have a lot of fears about this person. You feel that, what is it that she has that I don't? And quite clearly what it is that she's manipulative. So she's showing people a side of her that's a little bit not real, but this is a woman who's got some dirty, underhanded tricks. And what I see is that she's not, 10 of Cups in reverse, like she's not there to have happily ever after. She's there to teach, because I get Queen of Wands in reverse, 3 of Cups in reverse. She's manipulative. She's got everybody fooled, but not fooled enough to have people think that she's going to be happily ever after, because it's not going to happen. This is somebody who's done something that she tends to regret. Something that she is like kind of, it's like she jumped into something and now she's regretting it because there's a cycle that hasn't ended. Now, is that the cycle with you and him? Probably. She doesn't see any success out of this. It's like, where's the success? So it's almost like, yeah, 2 of Wands in reverse, stuck. Because he's stuck in a cycle. You represent something in this man's life that you can't be like, it's not a VHS tape that you can delete a section of his life out. And so he's stuck. And she feels like, how did I get involved in this? What I see is you're worried about somebody who's not going to be around long. This person isn't really committed. Bottom of the deck, 5 of Swords, 9 of Cups in reverse. This person is lying. They are not happy. But they have a lot of hope that something will change, but it's not. It's not going to. And so you have your perception, and it's like 9 of Swords, where you have anxiety and fears and worries, and it's like, don't even think about that, because you're not on track. You're not on track. Because he's a liar, and so is she. And the 2 of them are together to teach a lesson, just like the last one was there to teach him something about himself. I won't go there because it's going too far. But so what I see is that King of Swords in reverse. He has created a situation where he's a liar. He's lying. He's not being real. And she fits right into that picture because both of them like that attention of essentially what they're projecting is like, oh, we're doing the right thing or things. Look at us. But in reality, they're like actors in a movie. Like, you're not on point. Your sadness even and disappointment and anxiousness and worry is not even on point. Because your intuition is telling you exactly what's going on over there and you're not listening. Did you have a lot of anger? Yes. It takes a long time to get through the anger. Busey, will the department try to settle out of court, or will I have to go through the whole process? Eek. Let's see. Your job right now is not to worry about that. Literally. It says right now your job is to focus on your current situation right now, because I do see that there is the ability for you to be radiant, to be healthy, to be okay, for things to grow. but it's not through the court process. That is going to be something that you're going to have to put out of your mind and be very grounded and settled around, because the issue is that that's a long process. So jump in, the water's warm. Your job is to stay grounded about financial stability in the future so it can come towards you, rather than worried about it. Right now, you're worried about being independent, single, and focused on getting away from the chaos that is a result of this person who causes you to sit in a little bit of confusion about which way to go. But it's very single and independent energy. 2 of Wands, 9 of Pentacles. This is very focused on yourself and moving forward. When it comes to the court process, you're looking at this stability. Don't let it make you delulu. Don't focus on it all the time. It's a very long process. Your job is to keep moving forward out of chaos. A couple more cards. I hear, don't count your chickens before they hatch. And then I get this card right here. The High Priest, followed by the Empress in reverse. Do not allow the court process to have you in a way that isn't grounded and stable and abundant and creative and living your life and happy and all those wonderful things that you get to have by being caught up in the court process and you're all over the place. That doesn't help anybody. So gear up to be patient, because it's going to be a whole process. But here's the thing. The more that you're patient, the more that you're stable and grounded and focused, the faster it comes in. Oh my gosh, somebody was saying that to me today. Dang it, I don't know. I listen to a lot of like YouTube, and I was just watching somebody and they were talking about how if you would just be calm, your manifestations would come in faster. Was it Madonna and Jay Shetty? I don't like Jay Shetty because I heard too much about him and like, you know, I have my own opinion about him, but he was interviewing Madonna. I think they talked about that, how it's long, but I'll give you my shortened version, which is be calm. The calmer you are, the faster your manifestations will come through. The more upset, worried, fearful, freaking out, the more you're like that, the longer it's going to take. In fact, you may even lose opportunities because you're in that energy. Yeah, I know. But you're one step ahead because you're getting child support now. And so that's what I think, you know, I know it's not tons, but it's also, you're in a place where the universe is responding and things are working out for you. It's really important that you be thankful for what you do have before you ask for more. You know what I mean? Remember, I think I talked to you about this. Not be in action, but be with it. Be peaceful, be grounded, be stable, not rushing to the next thing. Be with it. Be with it for a little bit. You know, it's really important. All right, so if you're on, post your questions. I do watch a lot of YouTube, and I mean, most of the time when I'm working, I have it in the background playing. Some people that read tarot, some people that just channel messages, a lot of stuff about healing. I mean, I'm a sponge, and in this part of my journey, I'm so, and maybe this is like something for somebody that needs to hear it. I don't mind being alone, and I don't mind the quiet. I don't mind it. I embrace it. I welcome it. I like it. I'm inviting it in. It's really important for people to do that. You're constantly like, what are you doing? What do you listen? I mean, you can listen to music. I'm not going to discount that, but what are you filling your brain with? Spirituality is a constant evolution of person. What we're learning about today and what we're learning, you know, in the next 6 months will be different than what we learned 6 months ago. constantly in that, like, constantly evolving yourself, constantly learning, constantly embracing new teachings is so important. You know what I mean? You're not learning the same thing you learned when you were 6 years old, right? Same thing. It's important to evolve. So personally, I think that the spiritual journey never ends, because as soon as you get good at one thing, you're going to learn to peel back another layer of yourself, and you're going to start learning other things. So it's really important to keep that. And not like, what would happen if we didn't have YouTube? I mean, podcasts are great, but like not the same. And so I encourage people, if you're working and you need music, put on some meditation music. Find the right megahertz for you so that you can heal some of your chakras and just have peace. Maybe it'll encourage you to do some meditation. You know what I mean? Beautiful music. And so I don't know, but that's what I'm doing. So if you ask me what I'm doing when I'm not with clients and I'm like working on my legal, client stuff, or I'm working on candles or whatever else I'm doing, I'm always listening to something. Always. I fill my head with as much as I can. Sometimes it's Teal Swan. I listen to her a little bit. She's not like one of my favorites, but she does have some stuff that I really love. And so I have a huge list of people that I tend to watch. Or most of the time it's like in the background. But I don't fill myself with reality TV. I don't even watch television. I have not been a television watcher for so many years. It's frightening. Probably haven't had technically cable in 15 years. Technically. Because I worked for Comcast. And so we had it for free. And when I stopped working there, I wasn't going to pay for it. But I never watched it anyways. The reason I never watched it is because after I worked for Comcast, I worked for the public defender. And I worked in the jails, and I didn't want to watch the news because people that I would interview in the jail were the ones on the television. And so I wouldn't watch TV because of that. So I've not been a television watcher. I don't really love, like, I don't know. People always talk about Love Island. I don't even know what it is. Is it Love Island or something like that? I don't watch that crap. I don't care if somebody finds somebody that they love. It ain't me and it ain't anybody I know. I'd rather not. I don't need to. I can't fill myself with that kind of stuff. I just don't care. I do like Netflix or Hulu. I like watching documentaries. I'm always, my whole life have been a history buff. Documentaries are my thing, but I don't like reality TV. I have not watched a full season of The Kardashians ever. If I've watched a full episode, it would be shocking. I don't think so. I don't think I've ever. I just don't care. I guess I just have other things that are more important to me. And I think everybody should have that. Being creative in my business is where I like to spend a lot of my time. And you will find that the universe will provide whatever you need. And right now it's me filling my head with as much knowledge as I can about all the things in life. So, all right, we are going to close up unless you want to post your questions. If you are a super fan, I'll give you like a couple more minutes to post your questions and then we'll jump off. I will work to have this week and last week's sessions on. I'll upload them to YouTube for y'all, so you can rewatch. I remember when the lives were like 2.5 hours. Crazy. But now, and I might talk about it a little bit. The evolution. Heather Lee, what do I need to hear about my spiritual journey at this time? Let's take a look. Wait, I won't use this one because I haven't put bikinis on that one. That's a brand new deck. I have to be very careful about that. Okay. Is this you? I don't know. Let me use a different deck. That one feels a little cold. What does Heather need to know? What does Heather need to know? What in the world? Maybe you're okay, my dear. Oh, okay. There's a message here. There we go. This is very similar to Jackie's message. Very similar to Jackie's message. It's simple. Focus on your children. They bring you a lot of luck, happiness, and joy. Focus on your children. Focus on them. Remember why you have them. There seems to be like this question, or you're trying to figure out, what do I do next? Waiting to hear a message, letter in reverse. Let's crossroads and then letter in reverse. You're waiting for a message. You're trying to hear for a message. But you're also waiting to hear from this person. And so it's kind of it's a two-way thing there. And then literally the very next card says, instead of worrying about the message, instead of worrying about somebody calling you, start to worry about your children, but not even worrying about them. Just enjoy them. It's about your children. There's a part of you that's kind of like, there's a part of you that has a little bit of anxiety because you're trying to create, are you an earth sign? Oh, you're earth sign. Are you earth? Basically what it says is it's kind of like, you damn earth signs. It's almost like you're anxious about what's coming, what you don't see. Instead of like, it basically says, discover that it's almost like you're trying to trick yourself. It's not how do I explain it? It isn't a good thing to always be anticipating a problem. And that's kind of what it is. It's like, stop lying to yourself that that's the way you need to be. Right now, you need to take a chill pill. You need to enjoy time with your children. That's what's there for you. You've already cut out what you need to cut out of your life. So now go back to loving your children. You already cut out something that was not stable and wanted a lot of your attention. It's going to be on YouTube. So it just says, we'll go back to the beginning. The clover and the child. Literally, your children are innocent and they bring you a lot of happiness, luck, joy. They are your reward. Right now you have the opportunity to spend time with your children, but it seems like, you're kind of like split. You're trying to figure out like, well, I haven't heard from this person. I'm waiting for the universe to tell me, but no answers, no messages coming. And it's like, you're trying to figure out, what do you do next? And then it goes right back to a child again. Focus on your children. That's what you're supposed to be doing right now. Then it's the whip and the clouds. It's almost like you're in conflict because it's like, I'm trying to see what's coming up. I got to see what I need to do next. And it says, discover that you're just kind of lying to yourself. You're tricking yourself. The thing that you think you need to do, you already did. You cut somebody out who is unstable and wanted all your attention. You already did what you needed to do. So there's no action. There's just a being. Again, you're an earth sign. That's hard for you. Just be with your children. That's literally the message. Be with your children and enjoy them. Enjoy the peace. Everything's fine for right now. When you get the child card twice, it's like, yo, you need to go spend some time with your kids. Not in a bad way. Have fun. They're there to make you smile and bring you happiness. Yasmin, what does Spirit have for me? All right, let's see. You're soon to discover something about love and heartbreak. You're going to get a message from somebody. It's coming in quickly. Somebody talking about how they've been on a very difficult journey. They're wanting to communicate and tell you that they've changed. That they're more mature now. But it's confusing because it's almost like you're looking at the outside, like you're looking socially. They might seem different, but we never look at socially or the outside of somebody. We look at the energy. It's almost like on the outside it looks stable. Be careful though. There's a lot of nervousness in what this person is communicating to you. So they are telling you something that you can't rely on because of the energy it's going to tell you. They're trying to pretend that they're focused, but they're not. They're nervous. They're anxious about your response. So it almost feels like they're not telling you the truth. Message is really about, I've changed. I'm not the same person. But I'm the same person, and it's only been 2 weeks. That kind of thing. I've changed, but it's only been a month. We broke up Friday. It's Monday. I've changed. You know, that kind of thing. And then I get this funky old police siren. I don't know. Sounds like a synchronicity you should pay attention to. Warning, warning, warning. Kind of crazy. Alrighty, if anybody else is on, post your question and then I'm going to jump off. Are you on, Dominique, or no? Maybe she's not. I'm working on her candle here. You can ask your question. I see you now. Okay, cool. Do you have a question? I'll do yours and then I'll jump off. I know, it's kind of like, I don't know, it's different. It's a little different. I'm not gonna say I love it, but you know, TikTok changes up things, and I don't know why they think it was important to change what we were already doing just fine. I think they were trying to expand it for people, and I'm like, should have asked some people. I would have told you to keep it the way it is. You can go ahead and post your question. I had a group interview for Affleck. I want to know if it's the right career. Okay. No, it's not. And the message right now is because you are heartbroken. That's why. I get the tomb in reverse, the star in reverse, the man in reverse, the tower. There's an energy you're carrying right now that's very lonely. It feels disconnected. It has to do with masculine energy around you. And there's sadness. And it's a resistance to closing the door on somebody. And so whenever you're in that kind of energy, you're not going to be super successful, or making a change right now is not the right thing to do because you do not have the confidence to carry the weight of you being different than how I see you energetically, if that makes sense. So energetically, what you're walking around with is a situation that's come to an end, but you're resisting the ending. Star in reverse is like it's a nightmare. It has to do with the man. And tower is about feeling left out, feeling alone. And then it looks like the rider and the heart in reverse it's clearly a message that you receive from some masculine that has been heartbreaking. And so that is the weight of what you're carrying around, trying to change your career or trying to shift. It isn't their time to do that. You know what? That's like one of those things I always tell you guys. Whenever you're in a heartbreak, it's hard to make financial moves because your energy is Sadness. I've got the House in reverse. You feel unstable right now. Like, it feels like this person has shaken you down a little bit. And it has to do with masculine energy and the lilies, about a long-term relationship, about being in a long-term healthy partnership. And so with that falling apart, you're not in the space. You're not in the space. Literally. You're trying to find direction, but your emotions are dragging you down. Again, the fish and the heart in reverse. It says the same thing over and over again, 2 different decks. It's not the right thing for you right now. You're trying to do too much instead of deal with the heartbreak. Jessica, what messages do the guides have for me? I know. I hate to tell you, but you got to heal. You got to find your footing again. That's why you got to be careful before you jump in. Jessica, what message do I have for her? You're going through a lot of difficulties. Could be financial. Feeling like you don't quite have direction. You might even feel lonely and like you don't have anybody in your life, like friendship-wise, to support you or help you or talk to you. Sit at that current job for a little bit. The right opportunity will come through. Jessica, you're gonna there's something you haven't quite discovered yet, and it's about like having a new start, having a fresh start. You have a fresh start coming. And I have his masculine energy. Is this somebody new? Oh my goodness. You got to be careful. This person has got a dark side, another woman attached, or this person lies. So you have a decision coming in with this fresh start. It could be a test. But see, these are the things that happen in our lives. We go through a lot of difficulties. We're not focused. We're questioning loyalty. And then a new opportunity comes in and we're kind of like off kilter. When you are actually open to dating, that is where you have to be the sharpest. That's where you have to kind of pull yourself back and not get into things super emotionally and all gaga hee hee. Because what happens when you do that? You miss seeing who they really are through your intuition will tell you. Like, nope, that's not the way to go. So, what's the advice? Right now, the message for you is that you've got to get your head on straight and you got to start focusing on peace and focusing on what's best for you. What's happened in the past, we can't change that, but we sure can learn from it. You're never alone. You are never alone because the universe is always available. Let me grab tarot and see what I can pull tarot-wise for a couple cards. Yeah, you have like something new. I just see it. Is this like more than one new guy or is this the same new guy? Because look at this. Somebody coming in with a new start. Excited. But it's not the greatest energy. I don't want a King of Wands. No, thank you. Nope, 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 nope. I don't want that one. But this is somebody coming in. What does it say about this person? It's the second deck that's telling me this. Yep. Sun in reverse. 9 of Cups. 4 of Swords. This is somebody who might not be super happy on their own, looking for happiness. It will exhaust you trying to be somebody else's happiness. So I do get 2 decks that tell me there's masculine energy coming towards you very quickly. And this is something you got to be careful of because it's not quite something you should jump at. But when life is difficult and we feel like we don't know which way we're supposed to go and we think this exciting person comes in, yeah. No. No. I'm like, run for the hills. Oh my. All right. I'm going to jump out of here. I will see you all next week. You know where to get a hold of me. You can always message me, text. Most of you have my text. You have my phone number, so you can text me. I will see you guys next week. I will update YouTube with last week's live, this week's live. And I'll see you when I see you. Have a wonderful rest of your night.